Did you know that March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month? And while it might not be the most comfortable subject to chat about, you know I'm gonna, because it's an important one. Dr. Lindsay Sceats, colorectal surgeon at Swedish, joins me now. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we have this idea that colorectal cancer is something that we should only worry about when we're older, but that's not true, is it?
That's correct. So colorectal cancer is actually increasing in younger populations, which is why we've moved our recommendation for our first screening colonoscopy up to 45 from 50.
Okay, so first screening is important, right? Because what do you find in that first screening, or what are you looking for?
Well, so for the first screening, we're trying to detect colorectal cancers early, so as precancerous polyps or colon cancers before they've spread to other locations. And we might do it even earlier than 45 if people are having red flag symptoms.
Yes, I know that. Somebody I know very closely. So what should we be watching for? What are those symptoms that you just mentioned?
Yeah, so red flags to me would be any changes to your bowel habits that are not normal for you. So diarrhea or constipation, that's not your norm. New bleeding with bowel movements, abdominal pain, weight loss that you haven't been trying for, thin ribbon-like stools. Those would all be red flags that make me sit up and say, hey, we need to update our colon cancer screening.
Uh-oh. So then what happens if you do find a positive screening? I hear that sometimes when colon cancer is detected, it's too late.
So that's actually the goal of early screening with colonoscopy, is that we can find things when we're still treatable either endoscopically or with surgery before they've spread to other areas.
You know, I also think that there's an important distinction, because I think we say colorectal and they think it's the same thing, but how about rectal cancer, and how is that different? That's
a great question. So many people think colon cancer and rectal cancer are one and the same, but to me as a colorectal surgeon, they're actually very different because they have different treatment algorithms. So many of the symptoms overlap, but that being said, rectal cancer, people often complain of urgency, like they have to go to the bathroom right now, or they'll go and they feel like they don't evacuate completely. For colon cancer, we typically treat it with a combination of chemotherapy plus or minus surgery, depending on the stage.
Okay.
Rectal cancer often includes radiation as part of the treatment pathways.
Okay. So when you say surgery with colorectal cancer, does that include removing part of the large or small intestine?
So typically part of the large intestine, and then we would remove the nearby lymph nodes and blood vessels in that area as well.
Okay, just to make sure nothing is spreading.
That's right.
Get that out, clean it.
That's right.
So you've kind of already told us the importance of colonoscopies, but a lot of us are a little squeamish about them. I remember when I went into it, I was like, oh, the colonoscopy. It's really not that bad, y'all, I'm telling you. But what are some of the myths and alternatives for people who really don't want to go through the whole process?
Yeah, I totally get that people are squeamish about it. It's very invasive. It's in a sensitive area of your body. But that being said, colonoscopy has saved many, many lives by catching things at a precancerous or an early cancer before it's spread. So the worst part of it is definitely the bowel prep.
It's the prep.
Yeah.
Everyone hates the prep. I mean, it was not that bad.
Yep. I tell people it's like a juice cleanse, so nothing to worry about.
Like lightest I've ever felt in my life.
Yep. And then during the actual colonoscopy, it's just the best nap you'll take.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Some alternatives for people if colonoscopy is not right for you, so you can do at-home screening tests like a stool blood test or the Cologuard test. For some people, CT colonography may be appropriate.
Really?
But I do want to emphasize that colonoscopy is the only screening pathway where we can actually remove polyps or biopsy a mass if we find it.
So if you find it right then, you're taking it out, you're checking it out, and then you have a definitive answer, which I think is really, really good. I think this is on a lot of people's minds lately. What are some advances in colorectal cancer care at Swedish specifically? You mentioned that CT thing. I'd never even heard of that.
Yeah, so CT colonography has become more popular. So particularly with rectal cancer, our treatment pathways have changed recently. So now we give chemotherapy and radiation up front of surgery, and in about 25% of cases, people may avoid surgery at all, and that's something called the watch and wait pathway.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Swedish has been at the forefront of colorectal cancer care. Our group was actually founded by a surgeon who was the past president of the American Society of Colorectal Surgeons.
Really?
So we have a long tradition of excellence. We're one of the only groups in the Pacific Northwest that trains colorectal surgery fellows. So we graduate 2 colorectal surgeons a year.
That's
that keeps us at
amazing.
the forefront of education and research.
Really, truly it does.
Yeah.
Okay, before I let you go, I know that prevention is important, but it's hard to imagine what can help prevent that kind of cancer. So what are some risk factors for cancer?
So definitely genetics plays a role. So certain families are more predisposed to polyps and colon cancers. So if you had a mom or a dad or brother or sister who had colon cancer or polyps, you may be at a higher risk and should be screened early. We do think the Western diet plays a role.
Yeah.
So processed foods, preserved meats may increase your risk for colon cancer, whereas diets like the Mediterranean diet that are high in fresh fruits and veggies may actually help.
Okay. I have to say, I don't know if this is doctor approved. So the prep thing, I want to go back to that really quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it is a lot and you can't eat, but you know what I found? And I want to see if you approve of this now. I ate gummy bears. Just the light ones, not the orange and red, because you're not supposed to have any orange and red, because I heard they were water soluble. Is that true? Can I eat gummy bears?
Gummy bears may help. Some people think drinking a little bit of lemon with the prep can actually help cut the taste.
All right.
So, but
talk to your doctor. Don't take my advice. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. And Providence Swedish facility is the largest colon and rectal clinic in the Pacific Northwest. And you can find more information on their website that you see on your screen right there. Everything you need to know.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Providence Swedish.